People are made of stories. Stories that you have lived through. Stories that you heard or read. Stories you borrowed from others and made your own. This is such a story that I learned sitting in the audience 3 years ago. Give me a raise of hands, those of you who have heard the story of Angulimala. 3 years ago, I was in the audience with my hand down. Angulimala wasn't always known by that name. He was called Ahinsaka when he was one of Disapamuk's students. Ahinsaka was a bright student, so bright that even the Disapamuk grew envious of him. So one day, the Disapamuk called Ahinsaka and told him to go and cut off 100 fingers off of people and return, which was exactly what Ahinsaka did. He went and cut off fingers off of people and hung them around his neck, which gave him the name Angulimala, finger necklace. When he had 99 fingers and was searching for the 100th, he ran into Lord Buddha. All he needed was one more finger to return. So he chased behind Lord Buddha, and while chasing, he shouted, "Stop." And Lord Buddha turned and said, "No, you stop." Those words were enough for Angulimala to realize all he had done, to change his ways, to become a better person and even attain enlightenment. This brings me to the 4 lessons that I learned sitting in the audience 3 years ago. Lesson number 1. Jealousy can affect anyone. Angulimala was a bright student, so bright that even the Disapamuk grew envious of him. Now, the Disapamuk was one of the wisest men of the village, but even he fell into this trap of jealousy. What's stopping you and I? But we can overcome this by always having our guard up against jealousy. When you feel those jealous feelings creeping up on you, cut them down and instead be curious to find out why he's more successful than you are, why she's doing so much better than you, and try to learn from them to be better yourself. Lesson number 2. Never have blind faith. Angulimala was a bright student, but when the Disapamuk told him to go and cut off 100 fingers off of people, that was exactly what he did, when he obviously knew it was wrong. Always question why, always analyze, never follow blindly. Lesson number 3. Don't be gullible. Don't believe everything you hear. How long do you think a dead person's decaying finger can hang around your neck? And how do you think you can stand the smell of 99? Stories will always have embellishments to make them more attractive, attention-grabbing, and interesting. But there are still embellishments, extra effects. Weed them out. Just like Abraham Lincoln said, filter all you hear on a screen of truth. Lesson number 4. Never underestimate the level of another person's wisdom. When Angulimala chased behind Lord Buddha and shouted, "Stop!" Lord Buddha turned and said, "No, you stop." That is it. Those three words were enough for Angulimala to realize all he had done. Those three words were enough for him to change his ways and become a better person. Just like one little gesture or one little word could be enough for a person to become the best version of themselves. Never underestimate the level of another person's wisdom. Which brings me to a final request. Share your stories, the ones that you have lived through, the ones that you heard or read, the ones you borrowed from others and made your own. Because you never know who you might inspire, and maybe they'll come back. Finally, let me finish with one of my favorite quotes from an all-time favorite author. If life is a book, there are 1,000 pages I have not yet read. Over to you.